Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we get started, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading's risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an idiot here on YouTube. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a recommendation to do anything at all. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links in my content, like Top 1 Futures, which I am affiliated with and partnered with. Let's go ahead and jump onto the charts. I got a new setup here. I'm on the chart, guys. I'm inside the chart right here. I got to fix that a little bit. The last one was, last one you could see through my face, so that's really not that great. But this doesn't look that bad on the, yeah, we don't look that bad on the chart itself. So let me make sure stream is up and running, man. We are loaded up. 350Ks from Top 1 Futures. We are checking out this MES chart. Can be seeing how we are doing after some news, after an insane movement yesterday. We're gonna be talking about that. Absolutely wild. But I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the chat. I meant to do it already. What's up, chat? What's up, Wolf? What's up, Reckless? What's up, Ruben? What's going on? Here it is, 50% off Top 1 Futures. And an entry to win one of 5 accounts is ending today. Got about 24 hours to get in on that giveaway if you guys want it. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But let's go ahead and hop onto these charts, man. So I'm looking at making sure I got bookmap up to the side here as well. Yeah, so we got some wild markets, man. Absolutely wild markets. I took 2 L's on the live session yesterday with you guys. Ended down like just under, I forget the P&L, but across 3 accounts. Ended up coming back after I hopped off the live. Nobody likes that guy. I joke about it all the time. It's not worth a damn because it wasn't done here with you guys live. But the only reason I'm going to talk about it is because I really, really had that conviction to continue trying that long a second time. Not continue trying it, but only to try it a second time after we held here at VWAP up to that 5100 level. And it played really nicely, brought me back to green across all 3 accounts, really just past break even, nothing crazy. But the thought process there, and the reason I'm talking about it is, it's tough to take, for me, and some guys don't struggle with this as much, but it's tough to take a follow-up trade after taking a loss, for me, right? Some guys like to just jump back in and keep hammering it. I have to challenge myself to do that if everything is pointing in that direction and it's a good setup and it's within risk parameters for me, and it paid yesterday, right? And had I not done that, and I almost didn't after I hopped off, I would have watched the market run to the level that I was watching at, fill liquidity, after bouncing at VWAP, continuing to hold structure, and I would have been really frustrated to be down, you know, a couple $1,000 across funded accounts rather than green, you know, rather than to recover that. So, you know, take your trades. Take your trades as you see fit. The market's going to do whatever it's going to do. Don't focus on the P&L. Don't focus on whether or not you just took a win or a loss, because that doesn't matter. The market doesn't care. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's my rant for this morning. So let's talk markets, man. This is absolutely insane. It looks like we're trading a meme coin here, but this is in fact the S&P 500. We cracked to the upside super aggressively here at about 1:15 p.m. yesterday into the afternoon. I did get my TP hit before that, coming into the 5100 level. But this was on Trump, you know, pausing tariffs with China. Essentially, that's the deal. We cracked to the upside super aggressively. We really drifted. We retested this level right here, and we really drifted higher all the way into the close. Overnight session, you can see we sold off quite a bit. We started to correct. We did just have red folder news, and we'll take a look at the news together. Let's drop down to the 5-minute chart. We did just have red folder news, CPI, unemployment. That really didn't generate a massive movement in the market. We don't have really much else to worry about for this session that we're going to be on today. 1 p.m., just after 1 p.m., we have 30-year bond auctions. So far, we are selling off. We are cracking overnight low, not selling off super aggressively. Here is our 8:30 candle, really uneventful. And, you know, this is pretty volatile. Like, again, I'm zoomed out on the 5-minute chart. This is still pretty volatile for ES, in my opinion. But we are holding structure to the downside now, looking like we want to sell off and come down and start to correct. I was eyeballing this to the downside. I don't want to miss a trade here, guys. This is pretty early for me. I was eyeballing this to the downside before I even hopped on with you guys. Why? Just based on correction starting really at the overnight session. Asia, London, pre-market for New York. We're selling off. It doesn't look like we want to rip higher right off the bat. I think we could easily come up and test this area. Zoomed out, this is a higher time frame area of high volume. But we hung out here quite a bit. Now we're breaking to the downside. A retest of this area looks extremely likely, but we got liquidity right now headed to the downside. We have continual orders right below this level here, looking at Bookmap. And the next area that I think we could go and find some buyers would be all the way down to the 52.87s. I'll show you what that looks like on Bookmap. Here we go. Orders all the way down to this level down here, 52.89-ish, 52.87-ish. What is that? Where are we actually sitting? Yeah, 52.90. We got quite a bit of orders on the book down there, almost 500. So I'm looking at this short, right? We really didn't get a lot of that news candle. We got sellers trying to take this thing lower. Can we just chop and balance up here? Sure. I think even if we are going to move higher, before I set my chart at the 1 minute, 15 minute, I think a pullback down to this level, and you can see where these levels are coming from, right? If I zoom out here, coming through this area of really low volume here, down towards this area, I think is very, very likely. I'm tempted to take it now. I'd probably want to structure risk with a stop all the way up here if I was going to get involved this early, and that would just make for a pretty wide risk to reward. But that's the kind of market that we're trading, man. And if I have to widen out and size down, as I have, I will. But that's kind of what I would be looking at on this one. Again, I think a retest up here, trading across this area, could easily be in store. But I think we could see, 80 or so points to the downside here as we start to break out, come through this pretty quickly and come and reach this level to the downside. So I'm liking this short, man. Yeah, I'm going to try it from down here, guys. I'm really not going to wait. 939. I'm going to start trying it from down here. I'm not going to go in super heavy. This is going to be trade number one. I'm not going to go make this a massive, risk trade. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this to continue selling off right here, right now. Not really wait for a retest of VWAP. Not wait for a big pullback up here as sellers are trying to take it lower. So I'm going to jump short. I'm going to run this with 1 micro, like really small. Again, I'm running really wide risk. I'm structuring this off the 15-minute chart. I'm talking about a stop loss that's, 80 points away here in ES because I think, we can quickly move down to this level. We are starting to push a little bit lower. We might come and tag like the 53 40s, 30s pretty quickly and then bounce. I'm going to be cautious of that, but I'm going to go ahead and get my chart set back up on the side-by-side because I've been liking that with this crazy volatility. Just to take a look at the 15-minute chart and the 1 minute side-by-side. Let me zoom out because that VWAP's not in the right spot. But I am short, guys. I'm short 1 micro. Nothing crazy. Really, really wide risk. Allowing it to kind of just dance around up here. Yeah, I might watch this from the 15 if I'm going to trade this wide. Hang tight with me, guys. Appreciate you being on. Welcome to the show. We're trading live here on our top 1 futures, straight to funded accounts. You guys want to check these accounts out, feel free. Link is in the chat. 2 ways to play this, right? I could scale in kind of heavy here and just go for a breakdown below this level that I think we're going to see. That was my opportunity to do it as I'm talking. There it is. I'm watching this on Bookmap. We still have orders all the way down. Yeah, I think I'm going to hang on to this one, man. I think I'm going to hang on to this for now. Yeah, I could have played this one a little bit differently. Could have got more aggressive with an entry, heavier size, and just went stop loss right here. That would have paid me a 1-to-1 down through this level. It's what I started to debate doing right now. We have liquidity pretty clean down through this area, But I think I'm just going to leave this one on with a wide stop way up there and just let it ride. Really structuring off the 15-minute and, you know, maybe actively manage if it starts to come back. Because I want to see this thing go now, really. That's kind of the thought process. And I'm holding for a larger correction to the downside. Yeah, still got liquidity. If we find buyers down here, it could be dangerous. Yeah, we got some nice momentum to the downside here. I like this. I like it. Showing me 130 bucks. I was going to say 150, not yet. 130 some odd bucks worth of profit. Yeah, continual buy orders getting eaten up to the downside. I'm obviously looking for a larger movement out of this. But I am cautious that we could find some buyers right below these lows. Yeah, I'm gonna pull stop loss to break even on this one, guys. I'm not gonna take the first L. I'm not gonna take it off. I'm in with 1 micro, but I'm gonna go stop loss to break even or stop loss plus a tick or two, just to cover. If we start to really find buyers back up to this area, why I want this to sell off, right? We're breaking to the downside pretty aggressively. I'm structuring this now much tighter. I'd like to see us continue to the downside right here, right now, through these levels of liquidity. I'm actually tempted to add. And just grab a quick crack to the downside, down to this 35 level. But yeah, I want to see this continue right here, right now. So in a sell, show me 100 bucks worth of profit. Again, not enough. You know, these accounts, I'm taking on more risk. You know, the up near the $1,000 plus or minus on the day, the P&L, you know, being up 1,000, down 1,000. That's kind of the progress that I'm trying to make in these. Getting a little bit of a pullback, but again, I would like to take a follow-up trade. I don't know that I want to get stuck in that one, right? If we start to come back and then like chop around up here, and this move is just a sweep lower before a continuation up, I'd rather just be out at, you know, break even, and be kind of hanging on to see what we get next. So started really wide with that. Quickly to stop loss to break even. You know, I'm fine with this one. See if we get tagged here. I like it for a continuation of the downside. Again, risk all the way up here would make sense, or wider. But nothing really here makes sense for me. Nothing right here makes sense for me. So we'll see if we test overnight low. In by the skin of my teeth still for now. But my entry wasn't terrible, right? It wasn't all the way down here where I already would have been stopped. So I don't mind allowing for that to happen. Keep me in with 50 bucks still in profit. But again, the thought process is this is going to sell off aggressively right off the open. Like if I'm going to take a trade that quick, I'm really jumping in quickly. So I'm okay taking a stop at break even, kind of watching what happens, waiting for it to develop, and then coming from there. So there we go, out for break even. A whopping $6.76 on that trade, guys. We have enough money for maybe Chipotle across these 3 accounts. Maybe. So again, I appreciate you guys hopping on, man. We'll see where we go from here. Again, I'm looking at this short. I do think we could come and trade across this, you know, really aggressively, especially back up to VWAP. I don't love trading without VWAP being tested in pre-market or you know, current, NYSE open, excuse me, trading against it. So, you know, we'll have to see. So yeah, we'll see what this trade management looks like. The whole gang's here. What's up, guys? What's up, Ruben Wolf? Jess, what's going on, guys? Now go touch some grass. Very nice. 400 bucks profit, Wolf. Very nice for the day. Done for the day. Time to touch some grass. What's up? What's up? Fade my trade. Kim, what's going on? What's happening? Yeah, man. All the familiar faces. It's awesome. I love this community. I really do. It's great to have you guys on. I get the same people that hop on, man. It's super cool. I appreciate you guys being on and being in Discord, talking every day, sharing the good, sharing the bad. It's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. It's growing. I get more and more people on these. We got a ton of people in Discord. I think I'm at, let me see. Did we hit 2,000 yet? That'd be pretty sweet. Nope, not yet. 1839. But we got people joining by the hour. What's up? If you just hopped in from Discord, got like, yeah, another handful of people that joined today. A dozen or 2 dozen people. Appreciate you. Appreciate you hopping in. So let's see what we got from these markets, man. Let's see what we got. And while you're here, you don't have to do anything. Do whatever you want to do. But smashing like and smashing subscribe helps me out. Free means free. You don't have to do anything. I don't like to ask anybody if I say I'm trading live on YouTube 100% free, because then that would insinuate that you have to do something to be here. And you don't. You don't have to do anything. It helps me figure out this YouTube algorithm, which I can't figure out for the life of me. So pulling back up, this could be a really clean break and retest to the downside. Again, it could just be a sweep below this low. And if we really push the highs, I do think we are headed back towards VWAP. I do think we are headed back towards this area of high volume that's up here. So I'm cautious of that. Again, initially got short, stopped to break even. I do want to have just my, all the bullets in my chamber to be able to continue trading. Not enough for me to grab $130, when I'm starting with $400 worth of risk. And this looked good to the downside. So I'm happy with that management. Right now, I wouldn't be too happy if I was sitting in drawdown. So we'll see. Could be a nice clean retest of this area up here, kind of coming into high volume before some selling pressure continues. Where's our NYSE open? Yeah, right here, opening up right over here. So retesting that level. We come back down through these lows. I may try it again. And that one I would run with a wider, not a wider stop, a stop above this level of structure, looking for a continuation to the downside. Again, looking at Bookmap with you guys. This is Bookmap, my favorite order flow tool. I'm partnered with Bookmap. Can't be unbiased. All that fun stuff. So I'll throw this in the chat as well if you guys want to check out Bookmap. There it is. But I'm looking at this to the downside because we got quite a bit of orders down here, right? So even if we're going to sustain this move to the upside, I think it's pretty dang likely that we come and grab these buy orders on the book down here before taking off to the upside. Now, we certainly don't have to do that. Try to scroll out a lot just to see if there's anything else like a couple hundred points away from price. No, there's not. We certainly don't have to do that, but that was feeding into this short idea. If I go back and just kind of show you guys what I was looking at as we were starting to sell off, we were coming through these orders to the downside. We did find some buyers right there, but we continued to break through them. And as we did, it looked like more and more was coming on the book down below. And that was looking good for a short to continue, like right here, right now. But we're not doing that just yet. We're retesting up here. Again, this is pretty dang zoomed out that I'm running it. Yeah, we still have orders on the book, looking pretty thick to the downside. Orders up here, 5405 as well. We might want to go tag those sell orders. But so far, I'm just going to stay patient after that first one. See if we can't find something that really makes sense. Let's see. Okay, we got some sellers stepping right back in on that. That's interesting. That is interesting. Let's see, man. Let's see where we go from here. Again, I don't have a massive bias today. We got this ridiculous candle to trade off of. Let's just go back to one singular chart on the 15-minute here. Again, I've been zooming out a lot, guys. My approach stays the same. The tools that I'm using, the ideology, whatever. Not to sound fancy about it, I trade a pretty stupidly simple way. It all stays the same across time frames. It's just if we're moving like this, The 1 minute time frame can look like an absolute nightmare, and it just doesn't give me a way to really tell what the heck is going on. You know, I'm so zoomed in and I'm just looking at this area, and I'm not taking into consideration all of this nonsense. So I've been zooming out and running trades with, you know, wider stop, wider take profit, you know, that are going to be held for longer, that are going to take longer to develop, usually, just because I don't want to be on the wrong side of that, you know, wildness. But on the 15 minute, again, yeah, we're selling back off a little bit here. I think we could come down to this area. I really think we might want to. I think I might have to try this again right now. Don't know if we're going to crack to the upside and go take out VWAP, but I'm tempted to try this again with a stop loss just above this level. Yeah, I'm taking this short from down here, guys. I'm going to take this short from down here. Again, similar trade idea. I'm looking at this to break out to the downside. There's a lot of liquidity building. Let's get back to our side-by-side chart setup. We came back up, retested this level, and now we have continual structure to the downside. First, we retested, and buyers tried to take it higher. Looked like we were going to. We got some selling pressure coming back in. We are back down at overnight low, but I'm looking for this to continue to the downside. Again, a lot of liquidity down below. We can certainly bounce here and go and check out VWAP, but I'm going to put this trade on. I'm going to take this short. It's similar to what I do every single day, right? I'm applying my consistency. I don't know if this one's going to be a winner or a loser or, you know, what. But I like this to the downside. And again, Bookmap is helping me out here. Just going to show you this real quick again. A lot of liquidity building to the downside all the way through this. And I think if we start to break really through lows, head back down towards the lows we just put in, I think we could head to this level pretty quickly. That's my thought process. So I'm in with 2, a little bit heavier, a little bit tighter stop loss on this. Yeah, I'd probably have to let it come all the way back up here on me. I'm just adjusting my stop before I really like put it down like a chess piece. I'd probably have to let this one come back up on me all the way up here to tell me that I'm wrong. So I'm going to go stop loss way up here at 54.12. At least for now. I mean, tighter and, you know, less risk would be down here. You know, right above these highs that we just put in, not wanting to allow it to come back up at all. But I'm going to let it be wide just for now, and I'm probably going to tighten up if we start to come back down through these lows. I don't know that I'd want to let it come all the way down here and then all the way back up on me. So thesis is, if we kind of chop here right now before we come down through these lows, I'd be okay with it coming up here. If we start to break out to the downside, I'm going to tighten up. I'm going to tighten up. So that's my thought process. Trades on. Let me adjust this because maybe VWAP is not in the right spot. Back on the 1 minute. That's my thought that's my thought process. I was gonna say my thought loss, my stop loss. That's my stop loss. That's my thought. Again, I think we got room to the downside. Whether or not that's gonna happen, and we're just gonna bounce here, that's out for debate, right? You know, I'm not going to try to predict the market, right? I'm reacting to historical price action end price as it's printing, the volume tools that I'm using, and just putting my trades on, just like I did yesterday. If I have to take L's with you guys, I will. Sure as hell don't want to, but that's part of it. I had to take 2 yesterday, and again, unfortunately, pulled the comeback after the live, which is never fun to do. It's not worth anything, right? It's not, you know, not recorded, not there for you, but I shared it if you're in my Discord. I shared a couple videos, showed you the one trade, you know, really the similar long, same style long. But yeah, looking like we want to break, man. I want to see it. I think we either we make a decision here, right? We talked about this yesterday. I think we either we're kind of at an inflection point. We either start to sell off here pretty aggressively, or we bounce, right? We bounce and we come take Zach out and everybody else, and we're headed back towards VWAP, and we're not going to sell off. We're going to sustain this move to the upside. You know, that somewhat of a decision-making point, right? We're either going to head lower through this area of low volume, maybe come check out, you know, the 5,300 level, which would be pretty sweet for a target, or even lower where we have liquidity down here, or we're not. We're going to come and chop around here first. We're going to head higher, but this is somewhat of a decision-making point. So it gives me a way to structure risk, right? That's really what we look for. There's no predictive power from all of this technical analysis. That's not the thought process that I subscribe to. but more so a way to structure risk, right? A clean way to structure risk around areas where the market is likely to move to or from. But does that give me some crazy indication of what's going to happen next? Not really. Not really. Appreciate you guys being on, though, man. We are trading these top 1 futures accounts, seeing if we can make some progress. Reading the chat, Wolf says, I prefer a trading day like this. Enter a trade, get profit, get out. Yeah, nice. Wolf made profit, and he's hanging out. Absolutely, man. If you can make profit in this market, get in, get out, right? And just be done with it. Huge rejection from the EU VWAP. Is it a sign? In my humble opinion, even if it has to go down, it may clear the news candle first, then go back down. I feel that. Maybe wrong, do your own research. LOL. Sitting here comfortably after already being done for the day. I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you, Samuel. Yeah, I appreciate you if you use the code. Here we go, coming back down towards these lows. I said I'm not going to troll, right? Yeah, well, no trolling, man. Come on. We're keeping it fun in here. Family friendly, right? We're going to be all supportive and kumbaya. No. Thanks, Samuel. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, if you use my codes, if you use my links, you support me in any way, you support the channel, I greatly appreciate it. Always do your own research. Do what's best for you. I can't be unbiased, right? I stand to make money. Make the best decisions for you and your trading and, where you're at. I think that's important. And I would want everybody to do that before I made money. And I tell a lot of stories about, how there's plenty of times in life where you're able to sign your soul with the devil and make a quick buck. And I've displayed through my live and community that's not my style at all. I've had that opportunity plenty of times, but that's just not what I'm here to do. I don't care to do that. I'm not in a place where I need to do that. But again, you have to make that decision for yourself, right? You have to judge me harshly the way that you judge everybody else harshly. Just an idiot here on YouTube. Which is why I'm here doing everything that I do, majority of what I do for free. Can we break this low? Buyers stepping in, 10 a.m. candle, decision-making time, boys and girls. I don't like that buying pressure. I would like to see it the other way. Can we get a break? No, not yet. Not yet. Do we rip our face off to the upside? I don't know. What do we think, guys? Throw it in the chat. We're down around, trading the 53.50s, trading below the 53.50s. We got some momentum. We're getting wiggly here. Can we get a break to the downside? Here we go, man. We might see it. We might see it. I'm hanging on to this bad boy for now. I'm not going stop loss to break even. If it started to come back up on me, I might duck out, right? I might make a conscious decision to pull something different. I want to see if we could break this and hang on to it, right? I tried it once, stop loss to break even. We got stopped at break even. Show me $200 of profit, $250 of profit across 3 accounts. I'm hanging on for this. Like I said, I need to realize larger profits or larger stop losses. That's going to be the way that I can make progress in these accounts. Otherwise, I'm just going to float around break even with a couple $100. So let's see. Can we get a break to the downside? I'm hanging on for it. This looks good. We broke down, retested. Everything looks solid, right? Indication to the downside. I think we can find buyers at any point really aggressively, but we're not doing it yet. Here we go. Breaking the downside. Very nice, man. I'm cautious around the 300 level. 310s, 300s. Let's see. Nice trade to the downside. I got to go stop loss to break even on this one again, guys. It's way too far off. I'm not going to let that one come all the way back on me. We already had a chance to do that. Now is time to continue to the downside really aggressively. I'm not going to take one off either. I'm just going to protect capital on this. I want to see us come down towards these 10s and 300s quickly. This is the level of high volume I want to see. We had buyers try to take it higher again here. Fail. We got to come back above that. Yes, we may continue the downside, and I could be getting stopped at break even multiple times while having trades run in my direction and not stop me out from original stop losses, excuse me. But I'm protecting capital, right? There's just too much wildness in this market, and I'm doing that by going stop loss to break even a little bit quicker. Giving myself more room to trade into the afternoon, if I do take multiple stop outs for break even. But this one showed me 300 bucks worth of profit. I'm not taking it here, guys. There's just still room to the downside. 300s, 310s, 290s. This looks good. I'm almost considering up here for a stop loss, but I don't want to see it come back on me. I want this to continue right here. I don't want to, I'm above a 15-minute candle high that's printing right now. I don't want to see this thing flip bullish and start to form a really big wick to the downside. Again, just utilizing the 15-minute chart a little bit more. If we have to take that, I'm probably going to take it short again after getting stopped out if I watch it come all the way back. But I just don't want to allow these to come all the way back on me and stop me for a big loss, you know, or just a full-size loss. So, again, I talk about not doing this. I talk about not going stop loss to break even, how it, you know, doesn't help me. In these markets and these conditions, I'm noticing that there is so much volatility back and forth that if I'm trading in the direction of the trend and it's moving in my direction and I have a decent entry the way that I do on this, right? I'm not all the way down off this low that we're retesting right now. I shouldn't be letting it come all the way back on me. It can happen so quickly and run a stop and just be a frustrating move. So anyway, we'll see if this continues. But yapping about trade management, talking about what's going on. Again, maybe you say, no, Zach, that's great. You know, you made it for 37 points in profit. Again, take profit. Cool, man. You do your thing. Grab your profit. You know, I'm happy that we could see that. I'm going to hang on to break even or to a larger win. Obviously, if you look at the opportunity we have to come down to the 300s, to the 287s, all the way down here, you know, this is a P&L that I'd like to realize today. So again, if we have to come back all the way back up past overnight low where my entry is, yes, maybe we're just retesting the lows here again before coming lower, but I think we got a chance to move higher, and this is my new invalidation point. So we'll see if we can hang on for this one. That is my thought process here, guys. Just checking. Bookmap still looks really good on this. Checking this to the downside. I'm just checking out what NQ is doing on a second screen. I don't want to pull it up on this one because I have a trade running. Similar, really nice structure out of NQ to the downside as well. Pulled back on that. Retesting. Are we going to go and sweep highs again? I don't know. We're fixing to find out, as the boys and girls say in the South. Let's see. Yeah, not continuing just yet. Not continuing just yet to the downside. Watching this on Bookmap. Liquidity still down below. This looks super good. I might have to take the stop at break even, which I'm okay doing. Just protecting capital. I just don't want to. I don't want to allow this to turn into a $500 loss. You know, it didn't really show me the profit that I needed, even coming down to the $300 level. Right? If I'm risking 500. Maybe I was considering starting to take profit, like taking one off around the $600 profit level, you know, coming down into like the 15s where we really started to see a lot of liquidity, but not taking half the position off just as we start to move into favor of the trade. Not running it that tight. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to take this one, man. This is a pretty clean level that we might come and retest up here, you know, into the 75s, the 375s. This is an area of high volume. If we just look at the low, you know, really zoomed in volume profile here on the 1-minute chart, we continue back down through these lows. I love my entry being at break even, and I'm going to hang on to this bad boy. But we pulled back. Buyers didn't rip it lower, and even on a pullback there, I would have loved to see that thing just sell back off. We're trying it again here. Man. Let's see. A lot of liquidity that we got to get through. I'm going to show you guys Bookmap since I am talking liquidity today quite a bit. Again, this is Bookmap. This is order flow. These are live orders in the market. This is actually the live orders in the market. Everything here is like a candlestick chart. It's printing price. There we go. Trying to break down. Again, this is a lot to the downside. I think even if we're going to move higher on the day, we got good potential to come and grab these orders. So I'm going to hang on to it. Again, this 15s, 315s, start getting a little bit cautious down here. We don't always just rip right into a big level like that, but we'll see. We'll see. Moving lower, still eating up orders to the downside without finding a ton of buyers and ripping our face back off. What happened over here? Yeah, we just kind of started to drift. We got close, but we started to drift higher. This looks good, though. This looks good. I like this, guys. Trading with the trend. Just taking trades that make sense, right? Simple break and retest trades, utilizing market structure and volume. You know, levels coming off of volume, a little bit of book map. Again, we got a lot of volatility. These candles are wiggly. I think we could easily come and tag me out if need be. I just don't want to be on the wrong side of a tariff comment today. I just don't want to realize that loss. So I'm going to get into trades, go risk free. And now, worst case is I make, you know, a few $100s on this trade, or I make $5, right? It's a good place to be in. So that's kind of my thought process as this market just gets so wild, right? I'm showing up to trade it every day. I'm putting risk on, but I'm being a little bit more cautious on, you know, how much I'm going to allow positions that move in my favor to move all the way back against me. You know, in slower, calmer moving markets where market structure is a little bit more normal, I'm okay, you know, letting green trades turn all the way back red. On this stuff, a little bit more cautious. So pulling back up, yeah, man, we're gonna see. I don't know that buyers can take this lower. I mean, excuse me, I don't know if the sellers can take this lower. We tried on that last one, man. I don't like how we didn't come and rip this low. That looked like we might see some nice selling pressure. Again, just commenting on low time frame movements. You know, you can see what this looks like on a 15-minute candle. Nothing crazy happening here, right? Again, we flipped bullish. Like, if you look what this would look like as this came back higher and stopped me out, that'd be forming a pretty nice bullish bar here into the close of this. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this the way it is. Leave this the way it is. Down towards. Oh, don't want an ad. Down towards the 15s, the 10s, where we have liquidity to the downside. That's where I like this. Not doing it yet, though. Not doing it yet. This may be another stop at break even. Let's see. We're going to try the lows again. Now, we come back up. I actually like where my stop loss is even more now. We come back up on this, and we have to check these highs again. I think maybe this is just going to be the move that we see, and we are really not going to continue lower. We're just going to kind of continue down to where we started to find some sellers here, this area that we returned to multiple times. That might be all we have to do. I'm looking at this area right here that I have marked on both of these. It's an area of high volume. It's the next area of high volume to the downside that I think we can return to, and really nicely coincides with a big stack of orders on Bookmap down here into the 280s. It's a big move, but I started with wide risk. I got to stop in a place that makes sense, and I'm going to hang on to that. You know, again, could have structured this trade differently, right? I could have came in here, and, you know, this is just your trading decisions, right? I could have came in here with $1,000 of risk right there and have hit that, you know, multiple times, right? Or $500 worth of risk and hit that right there, right at my 1-to-1. I didn't. I came in wide, right? And I structured it wide. So, you know, there's always thought processes to do things like that, right? You know, maybe here as we start to sell back off down around the lows, I try that and I have to get stopped, right? Because I'm tight on this 930 open, you know, over here, and I don't even realize a 1-to-1 as we come down lower. So, but just kind of mapping out different ways, you know, you're gonna have to make your decisions and, you know, stick to them. Here we go, continuing to sell off, breaking the lows. Can we get the movement that we're looking for, boys and girls? We don't know. We're gonna find out live together with you guys. Liquidity to the downside holding. 320s, 315s, 300s. Can we see it to the downside? I like this, man. Selling off. Show me 450 bucks in profit. I'm hanging on to this one, guys. For better or for worse, I'm hanging on to this one. This looks good. This looks good. Again, like I said, we'll start to get nervous down here around 315. That's the last stack of orders before the 300s, where we have the next stack. We could find buyers here and start to step back up to the upside. But I'm gonna hang on to this one. Got an opportunity to take one off here to grab 200 bucks in profit. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not interested in doing that. Again, I'm hanging on to my trade on this one. I like it to the downside. We got selling pressure. If we have to see a big retest before a big move lower, I'm out for break even. I want to see this continue and then maybe pull back up on us, right? Because I think my thesis here is that we may hit this zone and not continue lower. I don't know that we sell off from here, that we just have a big, huge sell off. I think we may, come back up on the day, and that this may turn into either a bullish day or retest a VWAP, something along those lines. But I got a level down here that I'm paying attention to, and it just doesn't, make logical sense yet to just cap a good trade that's moving in my direction. So I'm hanging on to it. I'll let it come back to break even and or a larger profit. But we're running in profit. That was showing me 400 bucks worth of profit across 3 funded accounts. So we're talking some nice profit, but hanging on to trades, man. That's what I'm doing here. Protecting capital, going stop loss to break even, but hanging on to trades, man. For better or for worse. That's the thought process, right? Letting those winners run, cutting those losers short, right? All the stupid axioms that we all know and love or hate. What's up, guys? I see the chat. Wolf says, "Hey Zach, you're giving me a heart attack. Take one off." I ain't doing it, Wolf. You're risk-free, man. You're hanging out. Listen, this one's going to be a nice trade, or it's going to be another break-even, and I'm just going to go and hang out, right? This one's going to be a solid move to the downside. We're going to see one more nice push out of this bad boy, or we're going to watch it come back, and that's going to be okay, man. I'm accepting that risk. I'm here with you guys to accept that risk, so I feel you, though. That made me laugh. If I can demonstrate anything with you guys, right, it's that the outcome of this next trade is, number one, I don't know what's going to happen. And number two, it doesn't matter in the long run, right? This bad boy might come back on me right now. In the long run, in the grand scheme of things, is this one single trade going to have a massive make or break difference? Probably not, right? Probably not. So I'm going to make the best decision that I see fit. I'm going to try to trade with some consistency day in and day out. This did show me profit, and I'm not grabbing it. I'm holding for the larger movement to the downside because everything is calling for it, right? And like yesterday, this is a tough decision to make. It would make me feel so comfortable to just say 430 bucks, winner on the live. I could post that on social media after a losing day, right? And feel good about myself. And, maybe you guys are like, great, Zach can trade. I have to make the hard decision. I had to make it yesterday, 3 times, really. And I have to make it today. I got to hold on to this one. Everything in my playbook and my discretion and intuition and objective discernment of price action says to hold this one back to a break even or down towards the 15s. We got close to 15s, but we didn't come and fill liquidity down here. As we start to crack through this low, I would look to take one off. As we really started to get towards the 10s, I'd look to take one off and then hold the remainder maybe down for a larger movement to the downside. But I don't know that we get that. If I have to take the stop loss, that's part of it, right? Started with wide risk. Remember, guys, I had, $500 of risk open twice, so if I'm not going to grab larger profit, eventually what will happen is I'll take full losses like I did yesterday, holding with that wide stop loss, and I'll never realize full profit. I'll always just be grabbing a small, $200-300 worth of profit. So, there is that to kind of keep in mind, not to always fall back on risk to reward or, whether we're trading with a negative risk to reward, because I love all that stuff. And I think it works very, very well. But I do recognize that, just in general, right? So if I'm always just grabbing quick profit and holding to a full loss, I got to be cautious. I'm dynamic with risk management. I go stop loss to break even. I move things around. But there's that thought process also. So anyway, rest of the chat. Miss some of you guys. Few good ones. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, I try, right? I try. I'm not the best trader. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to know everything, or to be here giving some financial advice. I don't do any of that stuff. I just show you what trading looks like for me. That's all. Spikes and drops are not for the faint of heart. No, they are not. Ever play around with taking one off at more conservative? Yes, I do. And I don't do it as frequently. Start to scale out. It can work for and against you. Just got to decide what your data shows. For that. I'm also very risk averse kind of scalper. Yeah. It depends, just what your data shows you, what your, when you review what your data shows you. Appreciate you. Ruben hopped off. Cool. Just reading through the chat. Don't like the looks of today going to take yesterday's profit and run. I feel that, Rusty. For sure, man. If you're identifying it just as just not what you want to see, no reason to put risk on, man. No reason to put risk on. 15-minute chart frozen for anyone? No, I'm okay on the 15-minute chart. Hopefully that cleared up. Looking good. We talked about me giving heart attack. My SLB 100 already. 5,300-ish. Yeah. So again, here's the thought process, guys. So as this trade is either going to come back on me or play out, here's the thought process, right? This zone down here is coming off of two obvious things. If this can reset for me, right? I'm going to talk about price action, market structure, volume first, and then order flow. But all three of these are pointing to one area for me. This is coming off of highs that were tested multiple times. So this is in itself could be a resistance zone flipped support. But that's not really how I'm marking my chart these days. What I'm really utilizing is this volume profile. And I love it on the 15-minute chart. I like it zoomed out like this. If you take a look at what we had up here, area of high volume, as we come down through this area of low volume, I think one of two things are going to happen. We're going to reject harshly and come back up here where we were transacting and price is going to be nice and comfortable. We got a lot of business to be done. Or we're going to quickly and continue to move down through this level towards this area of high volume next. Now, what gets down here? Maybe we bounce and head back up. Maybe we trade through. But that's the thought process down here towards this 5,300 level. It's also a big round psychological number. We'd love to go and trade out big round psychological numbers. We're less than 30 points away from it. Easy target. But that's not all on this one. Liquidity to the downside that just has been continued to eat up today. Does that mean we have to come down here and fill this? No. Does that mean we're not going to rip our face off higher first? I don't know, right? I'm just an idiot on YouTube. But what I notice, and not talking about market, auction theory or the narrative or anything, but what I notice, like an idiot, just looking at pattern recognition, is on days where we are lining up the way that I just described on my chart to the downside, right? Price action, market structure, volume. And we have levels of liquidity, buy orders to the downside on Bookmap. And those have been really added, like acting like fuel to the fire. Price hasn't been hitting them and reacting super harshly off of them. I like to trade towards them. I like to trade through them. It adds reason to believe that that's an important level. That's a level that I want to pay attention to on my chart. And if you see what we're looking at here, right down to that area that I have marked, which I had marked before Bookmap because I start with my candlestick chart, this adds, confidence, confluence, whatever you want to say, right? Does it always work out? Absolutely not, man. But price can do whatever it wants, right? Trump tweets something or somebody sneezes and says tariff, or Jerome Powell answers a question and we, market rips our face off to the upside or downside. But for all of those reasons, right? That's the thought process here with this trade. And I think it's important to try to describe. If you're going to find any value at watching me win or lose trades, you could at least know why the hell I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's the thought process. That's the reasons. Finding buyers right here. I don't love this, man, but we've really just continued to find sellers try to take this thing lower. This is not an area of interest where I would say I want to take profit. I would just be trading a P&L at this point, and saying, well, I got, X amount of dollars in profit and I want to take it. This looks clean to the downside again. I said I would start to get cautious around the, well, 320s wasn't that heavy before. The 315s, where we started to have this liquidity come on, that was kind of the last bit before we pushed all the way down through. So, you know, the more conservative would be maybe look to take profit, you know, or start to take some profit up here. But at this point, we break lows. I'm looking for it to continue. I'm asking for it to move quite a bit. And before we move lower, if this is really going to sell off on the day, how this hasn't happened really quickly, we may start to drift back up higher and come through my stop, which is going to be right up here. So we're going to see. We'll watch it play out. Simple as that, guys. You know, no pressure. We got our 15-minute side by side. Again, the other option would have been, you know, the only trade management that I have here outside of grabbing profit after moving stop loss to break even is just not going stop loss to break even, right? It's just maintaining a really wide stop and then allowing a decent sized winner to turn into not just potentially a stop out, but a loss. Yeah, coming back up, consolidating here, just not continuing. Sellers, at least not right here, right now, not continuing to take this thing lower. Had this come all the way, had stopped me, come all the way back down. Maybe there's a second short, but I don't know that I would try this one again. That would probably be the movement. Again, thesis is this is continuing to the downside. Sellers taking it lower. We don't have that right now. We got a pullback happening. We pulled back up multiple times, right? We retested lows here. We sold back off, cracked this low. We retested this area, tried it again. Now we're starting to chop and consolidate. You know, I don't mind getting taken out here. The thesis starts to die off, right? You know, if we don't continue lower down to these areas that I'm looking at, you know, maybe we're not going to. Maybe we're just going to chop higher, come back up into areas of high volume. So, again, I'm holding on to trades. Held on to trades yesterday. I'm going to hold on to trades today. That's my deal. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, man, trading live with you, having fun on YouTube. You want to check these accounts out as I'm about to take this stop loss at break even. Top 1 futures, 50% off with code RDF. Remember, I can't be unbiased. I stand to make money. I am partnered, affiliated with them. 50% off and a chance to win one of 5 50K eval accounts. These are the ones you have to take a test for. I'll show you the flyer. Potentially going to get stopped to break even on this one. Let's see. Retesting overnight low. We're back above a 15-minute bar high. This is a tough spot to have a stop loss, but you know, if we were getting short down here, right, we would already be stopped out. This would be the clean spot. All the way above this high would be wider, but yeah, just not going to let that one turn into a loser. It's going to be a $5 winner. I'm going to have enough to get lunch. And to come back and, you know, maybe grab that $1,000 winner tomorrow. Yeah, we'll watch this one play. But again, as this comes to stop me at break even, 24 hours left, 1 day left, 5 50K accounts. Every purchase gets you an entry to win. Code RDF. Top 1 futures, straight to funded, no evaluation, directly into a funded account like you're watching me trade here, or you could be trading towards taking a payout from day 1. Don't have to waste time in eval accounts. Pretty sweet offering on Project X, platform that we all know and love. You guys want to check that out. Link is in the description. Remember, I'm biased. Affiliated, partnered, important to be transparent about that. Didn't get the continuation on this one, guys. Again, could have grabbed profit at an arbitrary level down here. I did say I was starting to get cautious around the 315s. We didn't quite get there. And here we are back up towards break even. So, of course, you know, hindsight capital comes in and goes, well, Zach, if you just, you know, took profit down here, if you just, you know, managed that trade differently, you know, you would have been able to grab $200 worth of profit or something like that. Or close the entire trade just based on, you know, an arbitrary number. Not how I'm going to run it. You know, I'm going to make my decisions the way that I see fit, based on price action, market structure, volume, the tools that I use, order flow, all that fun stuff. Finding some sellers right here at overnight low. I don't think I'm surviving this though, guys. Not going to touch it, as I haven't touched it for the last How long have we been in this one? I got short right here. 33 minutes. Yeah, we're hanging on to trades, man. Hanging on to trades. In by the skin of my teeth. I think we crack this level. We go and check this out at a bare minimum. Maybe come and sweep these highs. More than likely come back up to VWAP. But this could just be a gnarly stop and then a reaction to the downside. We still have orders to the downside, guys. Still have a ton. There's really not much up above. The 60s have some. I don't think I survived this one, but it'd be funny if we did. Wouldn't be the first time I survived by a tick, by the skin of my teeth, and then made it back down to a winner. Yeah, still have that liquidity on the book to the downside. Not a whole lot to the upside, but we pushed back up. You know, we really lost momentum here, right? We lost steam, we lost volume, and then we had buyers step in, start to take this thing higher. So, you know, we start to do this and then come back up. I don't have as much faith in this thesis that we're gonna reach this area. But insofar, not out just yet. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. But again, appreciate you guys being on, man. I'm here almost every day, free on YouTube, trading live. Like I always say, I don't claim to be the best trader, right? I don't have all the big payouts. I'm not on the leaderboard. I don't claim all this crazy stuff. I'll just show you what trading looks like for me. Wins, losses, you know, good trades, bad trades, mistakes, run-ups, lost accounts, you know, all of that stuff, right? All that fun stuff. But appreciate you guys hopping on, man. Smash subscribe. I keep subscriber mode on to limit the trolls because I got such a good community, as you can see from my chat, that I don't like to get it ruined by everybody that hops in and just yells and says terrible things for no reason other than to say terrible things. So feel free to subscribe so you can chat for next time. 2-hour subscriber mode stays on this one. The day that I take it off, it's like insane with trolls. So I just rather not do it. But appreciate you guys being here, man. Feel free to subscribe if you want to chat for next time. And I'll be right back, guys. As we start to sell off, I don't know if I could do it. I really gotta grab some water. No, I can't go. I can't go yet. We might start to sell off really aggressively. I usually do that about an hour in, grab some water. But we're selling back off here, and I don't know that I can stand to get up and leave and not see if this thing sells off really aggressively. In by the skin of my teeth, guys. Holy mackerel. 6 ticks, 1.5 points. Again, we come back up through this high after doing this. I definitely don't think that we're going to continue lower, and it's going to make for, you know, a clean invalidation point. But that looks good to the downside. Somehow made it in. You know, stop loss above overnight low. You can see by me laughing, I'm enthusiastic about the market, man. I really am. I think just the way that these wins and losses play out can be sometimes so painful. And then the other way around where you hold on to something even for a little bit longer, right? This comeback has stopped me out. Funny that we moved, you know, within, like 6 or 7 ticks to my stop loss. And then all the way back down 110 ticks in, you know, a split second. It looks like we do want to come higher. There's a lot of momentum behind that initial open of this 15-minute bar. It's 10:30. We can easily come back up on volume. Again, we got 15-minute bar trading above 15-minute bar high. We get another 15-minute bar, sweeping 15-minute bar high coming up to this level without breaking lows. We're starting to form uptrend structure, right? You know, now we're starting to break above this high. We got a higher low. We're starting to break above these highs. We got a higher high. We get a higher low. We start to break above these. You know, the momentum to the downside is dying off, right? And that looks like what's going to happen. Looks like we're going to come through this high right here. Immediate reaction to the upside. Again, still have liquidity to the downside, but it looks like we want to come and take everybody out that got short. Again, that looked like potentially another fake out to the downside before now we start to move to the upside. But we'll have to see what happens here. Not yet. Sitting through back and forth now on some chop. This initial thesis of it just coming down to this level died out quickly. And now we are back up at overnight low. Cracking above highs. Looks like I'm going to take it on this one. But not yet. Not just yet. I'd be surprised if we didn't crack this now up towards the 65s, the 365s. I really would. Ooh, I got backup water down here. We're good. We're hanging out, guys. We're not going anywhere just yet. Appreciate you being with me. Bunch of you guys on here. Smash like, smash subscribe if you want to. You don't have to do anything. Free means free. I appreciate everybody that hops on here, man. What app or software do you have so you have your screen so your face is bottomless in the corner? There's a green screen behind me. I just set this up so you guys don't have to look at my stupid, studio room, whatever you want to call this. It's a green screen, and I'm using OBS to stream. OBS is a free streaming software, recording software, and essentially you're just able to chroma key whatever camera you're using. Reversal patterns. What's up, Ryan? Coming in with a rocket ship. Yeah, it looks like we may push to the upside. I, in no shape or form, would be looking for a buy on this yet. We take me out of this and start to push to the upside. I think we are absolutely going to move higher, back up to that area of high volume, maybe value area high from yesterday. But I would not be looking long on this personally just yet. Too much liquidity down below. We didn't go and fill that level to the downside. We've been selling off overnight Asia, London, into pre-market, into the open, and we're just now seeing some buyers step back in off of this low, really without breaking structure to the upside when we look at a higher time frame chart. So for me, it's not buys, but for reversal traders, for guys that are looking for a good way to structure risk, yeah, run it to the upside, run it through VWAP, run it back up towards the top of that news candle, do your thing. Somehow still in by the skin of my teeth. I think I'm gonna get taken out here. I don't know. I think it'd be unlikely not to at least sweep this high since we came all the way up here before we come down lower. But overnight low is acting like a line in the sand, and you can tell why I like that level. But here we go. There it is, boys and girls. Stop for break even. 2 stop outs for break even. Made it all the way down to $400 some odd worth of profit. Something like 45 points, 43 points. Let's call it 40 just to be conservative. Again, went through, go back and rewatch, went through the reasons that I held on to this one for so long, all the way back to break even. Clear level to take profit at. I got to hold my trades. We'll see if going stop loss to break even helps me or hurts me on this one, right? On the first one, I did have to withstand some drawdown, but I still would have been in the same trade, right, to the downside. So we're going to see. We're going to see how that one plays. I'm going to hang on. I'm not going anywhere. Again, if we get Ryan's, movement to the upside, maybe we could start to look for a long. But again, on this structure, without hitting a mess, like a serious level down here, I'm just not comfortable with it. I still like it short, but not enough to be putting risk on and leaving risk on, without stop loss to break even. After we see momentum, initial momentum start to die down. But this could absolutely be a nice break, retest, and continuation. We had it here, and that was the chance for sellers to bring it lower. We didn't do that. Came back up on buying pressure. So 2 stops for break even, 27.78 times 3. Enough to get a nice lunch. Not really that nice of a lunch, but a bento box, Chipotle bowl, whatever. So we'll see what we get on this one. We'll see what we get the next. You'll see what we get on the next one. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to grab some water. I had some backup water. I'm going to grab some more water. I will be right back. I'll let my chair trade for me. And see you guys in just a moment. Wow, I just yapped for so long, and the mic was completely off. Thank you, guys. I gotta keep, and that's how you know I don't have the chat up the whole time, man, because I talked for that long. Thank you. Somebody was throwing like crazy faces in the side, and that's what caught my attention because I had Bookmap overlaying it. But yeah, I guess I'll repeat myself in a minute. There was just kind of reviewing and talking about. That's funny. It was just kind of reviewing and talking about structuring that trade a little bit differently and going tighter stop, tighter take profit, heavier size right off the rip. You don't need the market to move as far in your direction. But you know, if I have a clear level that I'm looking at, being able to give the trade more room to breathe, I think is beneficial. The outside of that rambling was, as my mic was off, was whatever you do, like I just did here and what I've done this week trading live with you guys, review your trades, right? Not with a critique of every single one, but take a look. How did you manage that trade? How did you enter? How did you exit? You know, what did the market do after, right? And you'll notice trends. You'll notice small patterns, things that you could be doing differently that would help, and things that you could be doing differently, that would help and that would, you know, not hurt, that would hurt you more. So a little bit more of what's right, what's working, a little bit less of what's not working, which is usually the hard thing to do. It can be as simple as that. Improvement can be as simple as that, right? If I continue to note that, you know, so many of my trades make it to, you know, far into profit, but then come back to stop me at break even at full stop loss, maybe you take profit quicker, right? If you notice every time you move stop loss to break even, you get stopped and then it runs in your direction, maybe you don't go stop loss to break even so quickly, right? Or opposite. Maybe you notice, hey, trades oftentimes make it into profit and then come back to stop loss to break even. But when they do, they almost always continue to a stop loss. Well, go stop loss to break even, right? You know, adjust your trade management. But that just comes from review, right? Open up your chart with executions, take screenshots with a position tool. You could keep it really simple, but that's why journaling is so important, right? Create a feedback loop. What's working, what's not working. A little bit more of what's working, a little bit less of what's not working. So good. Simple as that, guys. And that's what I try to do. That's literally the process that I use. As simple as that. I try to have kind of review sessions where I go back through and I oftentimes note clear trends. You know, stuff that I could be doing a little bit better. Stuff that I could be doing that I'm doing that's not working, right? You know, things that are working really, really good, things that are not working so good. So looking at this on Bookmap, still have liquidity all the way down here. We are really, really struggling to get through, not to get through this level. Gun to my head right now, I'm short again. I don't have a gun to my head, and I'm not going to take it short. But gun to my head, I'm short. I think we come back down through this low. I'm holding on to that bias. I'm not going to take it. It's just not a trade that I would want to take from here. It's not as clear as this stuff here. We found support here. We found buyers. We've been creeping back up. I'd be taking it for a breakdown, you know, really of this type of structure. If you're a trend line guy, right? Got a pretty clean level of structure, you know, build into the upside here. Nice channel. But I like this short. I think we're rejecting here. We are not wanting to come back above this overnight low, and a stop loss up here after that type of, you know, candle to the downside and rejection on the 15-minute is pretty clean. So here, that's the trade idea right there, guys. I'm not going to take it. Again, I'm not going to try the same trade a third time, I don't think. We'll see what develops. But something like that, where I'm just dead wrong. If this continues higher and we push this high, I think we're definitely coming to check out VWAP. I don't think you would need to go all the way up there. I think something like that, even all the way down, just down to these lows, just to come and check this stuff out. That's the thesis. That's the trade idea. I'm not going to take it from up here again, but I'm going to call that one out. That's my thought. And again, conversely, we retest these low. We just hang out down here for a second. We come back down through this high. We continue this. I think we're going to come through with some force. And I think we're going to head to the upside. Decision-making time. Decision-making time over here. You know, 10:45. We're going to come back up and break IB high, which would be up here. Where's our 9:30? Yeah, which would be up here. Or are we going to break IB low, in which case we typically extend. We typically break this one first, based on this one getting formed second today. And if we do break this one, we typically extend by a decent amount. We typically don't come back up and break this. Conversely, if that first stat fails, we break this high, we typically aren't going to come back down and break this low. We typically are going to extend to the upside. But right now, gun to my head, I'm playing with that first stat. Same direction, off these lows. Which would be pretty tough to watch because I was short for so damn long. But I got to protect capital at a certain point, you know. And I'm happy with my trading decision. You know, I got to stick to that. So we'll see. We will see. Again, I'm waiting for another setup. I don't have one yet. That's not clean enough to take. It's not bad. Again, I mapped this out twice. If you just hopped on, I would be looking at that short right there. You know, 15-minute, looking pretty clean to the downside. You could easily grab a 1-to-1 just coming off that candle with a stop loss just above that level like that. But I think that could be a move back down to this level that I'm watching on Bookmap, based off, you know, market structure, price action, volume. So we'll see. We'll see how that one plays. But yeah, that was funny. Sorry, guys. Sorry for yapping with the mic off. First time here, I can't hear his voice. Tony, what's up, dude? Tony offered me. I don't know if you hopped off already. I was talking with my mic off and I saw this stuff. But what's up, dude? Appreciate you hopping on, brother. Appreciate you hopping on. Have had a handful of people stop by this live, man. It's been pretty cool. Thank you, Ryan, with the emojis. I appreciate you. These rejections off EU VWAP are lit. Nice. What a crappy volume day. AP, I see that. Ryan, I like that bias as well. Yeah. Again, like, we get to decision-making points here, right? We chopped here for a while. If you guys hopped on late, I had 2 shorts. I'm stopped out for break even on both. The second one made it $400 some odd in profit, 40 some odd points. I was short from over here. Went stop loss to break even. My entry was somewhere up here, right above overnight low, right there. Stopped to break even. We're selling back off. Again, multiple times. Comment here is gun to my head. Short there, and that all the way back down to this level. That's the thought process, or maybe back down around these lows before we come back up higher. If we do come back up above this level, I think we are coming back through VWAP to check this area out. So far selling off. Good read of the market. Trade management, though, man. Market not playing nice with my trade management, at least for today. But let's see. Let's see where we go from here. Starting to break that structure, right? Starting to break these lows to the downside. Again, if you just are looking at basic structure, I'm not a trend line guy. I'm just using this tool to display that to you. You're looking at these highs, these lows. Right, we had a little bit of a channel forming here. Starting to break out from that to the downside. All right, a little bit of a bear flag forming. That would have been your, indication to get short. If we were using a anchored VWAP, I'm guessing that we are below that already. If we were anchored VWAP off the low, there's your break to the downside, telling you to get short again. If we're looking at New York anchored VWAP, again, I'm just making a case for this trade using 47 different tools. We cracked above it, but you could see the rejection on... Oh, it doesn't look clean at all on the 15-minute. On the 1 minute, it looks okay. We did break and hold above it, so that could have been, a case for longs there. So that doesn't really support it too much. But there's the thought process for a short. So we're sweeping this low. Do we continue here? I just don't know that I'm going to get a second setup. That was the closest thing to one. Just a little bit aggressive after taking the same trade twice, trying it again below my entry on new structure. It's okay to do, and that's not a bad invalidation point. What definitely would have got me in short a third time is if we came up here, tested this, or maybe tested this, and then started to sell really aggressively off again, right? We had a candle like this that pushed up here, swept highs, and then seller stepped right back in to take it back below overnight low. I'm definitely in on something like that. Just even cleaner way to structure risk for continuation to the downside. So hanging out, waiting to see, man. Waiting to see what we get. Just answering a message here, guys. Watching this market, decide if it's going to sell off. I think we're coming lower. I think we're coming through these lows, and I think we're going to go hit my level. That's my game plan. I'm going to stick to that. We're going to see from here, though. Again, not enough to put a trade on, so that tells you something. But that's my thought process. I mapped that short out. I'm short twice. I think we're coming through these lows aggressively down to those. I'm going to say 52.87. I think we're going to grab that level. I think we are hitting this right here. Don't have a setup from down here. Just don't have a way in. We have liquidity on the book down here. Still 90. I'm sorry. I think we're going to grab that before we do anything. That's my thought process. We could absolutely just find buyers here again. We didn't want to move through this level before, but we're coming back down to the end of this area of high volume. I think we're ripping through this. That was my opportunity from up here. Not as clear, right, that we are moving lower until now we are 25 points lower. I don't have a way into this now, right? No clean validation point right here or right here for a movement all the way down here. But that's what I think I'm going to watch happen, which is going to be frustrating. Stopped out by a couple points, by 10 points. Not going stop loss to break even. I'm just going to have to never go stop loss to break even if I start seeing these just continually play out like this. But we'll watch. We'll watch it together. Sorry, guys, couple messages. Just watching this market chop around here. Not a whole lot doing. Again, gun to my head. I'm short down through these lows. I don't have a gun to my head. Don't have a beautiful way to structure risk. Selling off of this candle, like I mentioned. Again, this was the kind of a trade idea, right? That would have paid a 1-to-1. Just down around those lows. Didn't take that one. Just a little bit aggressive to take the same trade a third time. If you hopped on late, I got short twice. Stopped to break even for both of them. Just being a little bit more aggressive on moving stops to break even. I think this is going to continue, though. I think we're headed to the downside. We had a chance to move higher to continue this move. Could we sweep this low and then come back up? Absolutely. Could we just chop here? Sure. There's low volume through this, this next kind of no man's land right here until we get down here. Liquidity on the book down below. I think this is going to continue lower. Yep. This is going to be a frustrating one, guys. It's going to be a tough one to watch. Breaking lows. Here we go to the downside, guys. Yeah, this one's going to be tough to watch, but I'm going to hang out and watch. Watching this play out to the downside again, guys. Gnarly bullish close on that 15-minute candle, coming into the 11 a.m. time frame. This I'm waiting for another setup. That's why I'm still hanging out on here streaming with you guys. Appreciate you being on here, hanging out with me. 2 trades, so I got after it. Both stopped for break even. Just didn't have the ability to hold through this one, although we didn't break structure to the downside. And I think what this is going to fall under for me, my trade management, my my notes is going to be stop loss to break even. Don't help me, man. Even when the market's volatile, even when I'm trying to protect capital and be a little bit more risk averse, they just far more often, man. I watch this play out in real time with you guys, unfortunately. Just don't help me, just hurt me more than they help me. And it's a really, really tough situation to watch something like this make it all the way in profit and then, for example, come all the way back up to a stop loss. But here we are, and that will happen, right? If I don't move stop loss, but I'll miss out on days like this by doing what I did. So again, I'm not unhappy with the trade management. Stops for break even. You're protecting capital. You're living to fight another day. You're giving yourself more opportunity to get back in the market. But just not playing nice with me today whatsoever. This third one, again, you can see how that would have played out. You can go back again. I discussed this, like 3 times now since it's on. Like I said, gun to my head, short from here, but I don't have a gun to my head. That would have paid you like 37 points, even just right off the low of that candle. You had an opportunity, below overnight low to hop in. And I think it's going to pay dividends all the way back down here, but just difficult structure. And actually not difficult structure, just difficult to work with from my entries and my trade management. This is clean structure to the downside. So I'm definitely not going to say difficult structure, right? This is continuing to the downside, right? Selling pressure through Asia, through London, breaking and retesting overnight low. This is very clean to the downside. There's again, like I said, nothing for me calling for longs on this, looking for a reversal. But yeah, that's my thought process. So it's going to be unfortunate to watch this one get hit. I didn't get a second chance like I did yesterday to jump back in after getting stopped out. Just didn't really have a clean spot to do that. Obviously, it's much easier to say I think we're going to continue here to here from all the way down here as we're breaking lows than it is from up here. So hindsight capital ain't worth anything. But that's kind of the thought process, man. But I appreciate you guys hopping in, man. Let me read some of the chat, man. I do not trade ICT. No. If you were to throw short now, are you waiting to see a bar close below support first. No, I'm not that objective with it, AP. I'm just, I'm reading price action, market structure to the best of my abilities, using, volume as well, different ways that I use volume, and then order flow. But, everything lined up to the downside. I took what I really liked, 2 good trades, ended up getting stopped to break even. Both of them would still be running in profit at this point had I not touched stop loss to break even. That tells me something about my trade management. And again, had I taken profit, I still would be able to grab more profit on the entire trade right here, right now. We're past that low than if I took profit, early in on the trade. So I'm not a fan of doing that, and that's not what I'm looking at doing. But we still don't know, right? We still don't know if we continue lower. We did come and take out the 15s, right? Yeah, I came and took out the 15s. I said a couple times earlier here, this would be an area that I'd be cautious because we do have quite a bit of room to move below this. But this to me looks like we want to move to the downside. Now we start chopping here again, come back through this high. I think we're absolutely coming higher. So I'm gonna hang out for a little while longer. I just don't know what I'm gonna get from down here. I'm not gonna sell off these lows. That's just not a great way to structure risk, right? If you look at the 15, if you look at this, here's the invalidation point, and taking it from up here when you have a clean invalidation point would be a better play. But I'm interested to see, do we start to really push highs? We fail to go below this again. We don't come down to this level. That would be an indication that we're going to move higher. But this looks like we're going to continue lower for right now. So hanging on with you guys, hanging out. Appreciate you being here, man. Again, if you hopped on late, here is the link. I'm going to throw it in chat again. 50% off, top 1 futures, straight to funded, no evaluation. That is the account that I'm on right now, the 150K. I got 3 of them daisy chained together. Every purchase gets you an entry to win one of 5 50K accounts. More than happy to see one of you guys that I know that's on here often win. I'll be talking about that tomorrow, but check the link out. Again, guys, I can't be unbiased. I'm partnered with them. I'm affiliated with them. I stand to make money from that link, from that code. It's important for you to recognize that. Do your own research, make your own decisions. But yeah, really sweet. This is the Project X platform on Top 1 Futures. No evaluation, straight to a funded account. The price is $3.99 with that code RDF right now. $6,000 max loss limit. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Pulling back up, not breaking the low just yet. Not breaking the low just yet. This market's getting tricky for sure. Definitely getting tricky for sure. Yeah, watching this pop back up to the upside. Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna get one. Again, we get structure and we start to come through this low. You could definitely take the breakout to the downside towards this level. I just don't like it as much as we start to pull back. But hang with the guys for a little bit longer. See if there's something we can grab on this, man. Again, I don't want to do anything crazy. 2 stops for break even. Pulling back up off this low, not continuing to this level. We'll have to see. Market could have continued up. All good. Stop loss to break even can be palatable depending on your strategy and data accumulation on that decision to have stop loss to break even. Yeah. Again, for me, and that's exactly what it is. Accumulate data, right? Decide for yourself what's going to be best. What is going to work best for you and your approach. And if it's helping you, keep doing it. If it's not helping you and it's hurting you more than it's helping you, don't do it. It's as simple as that, right? With everything, with your trade management, with how you're entering and exiting, stop loss placement, take profit placement. You're not going to get it perfect, right? You're not going to hit the nail on the head every trade. That's not the goal. But over a large sample size of trades, that's the question, right? Not for this week or for one day, right? Over a large sample size. What do you notice happen over, 30 trade sample size, 50 trade sample size when you review, 100 trade, the bigger the better, but obviously it takes a while, and you can, make notes into the 2030s. But, what do you note? Does stop loss, and that's such an important one. Everybody always talks about trade management. What is best for you and your system? Your data will tell you. The data don't lie. And if you do something consistently, you'll watch how it plays out over a large enough sample size, and you can adjust, right? That's like the basics of improvement in any area or profession or sport that we're doing. We need a feedback loop. What's work? Rewatch the game tape. That's if you're playing sports, you have a coach that's going to be taking notes on what you're doing, and you're going to have some game tape to watch. And you're going to say, well, man, every time you come over here and do X, Y, Z, you give up some time here, or whatever it is. You do a little bit more of what's working well, a little bit less of what's not working, you improve from there. But that's different for everybody, right? There's no one best way. We're all trading something different approach, different strategy, but review on your own and decide what's best for you. That's the key. Hanging out, watching this thing develop. Yeah, not great, man. Again, I'm gonna throw this out because there's only one day left, man. As we're watching this market, 24 hours, about a day, maybe a little bit over a day. I'll see when I actually announce it. I'm gonna throw this in the chat. Again, guys, this is the link to Top 1 Futures, the straight to funded, no evaluation on Project X futures prop firm, coming from the long-standing CFD and Forex prop firm, Top 1 Trader. Again, do your own research, make your own decisions. I'm affiliated, I'm biased, I stand to make money, but I'm going to throw this your way. 550K elite accounts, these are the eval accounts, are up for grabs for anyone that uses code RDF and or that link up until tomorrow. Plus, you get 50% off. Pretty sweet offering from these guys. Straight to funded, $6,000 max loss limit. A whole bunch of other benefits. I'm not going to run through it, but check the site out yourself. If it's something that you are trading right now, you're trading prop firms, you're trading with different, eval accounts, straight to funded. Here's another opportunity to take a look at. Again, weigh the risks, make your own decisions. That's the best way to do these things. And on that note, guys, this is choppy now. I still think we got a chance to sell off. I think we're headed down to this level. We'll see. We'll see if that holds up above this high. I think we're headed to the upside. Slow movement to the downside now. This is more of a throw your trade on the 15-minute chart and go touch grass and walk away for the day. But again, appreciate you guys hopping on here. Got a bunch of people. If you are not in the free Discord, I think usually most guys are. I run a 100% free Discord also. Not a VIP feeder program. I do post about all the stuff that I'm working with. These companies, all that fun stuff, but sharing trade ideas, awesome community. If you guys want to hop in there, there's the link as well. Tony, good day, brother. Good job today on the mic. When it was on, I appreciate you, Tony. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, brother. Dude's a legend. But yeah, guys, hop in there. You hit me up on socials. I'm happy to talk to you. More than happy to help any way I can. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do is financial advice. I'm an idiot here on YouTube. I don't know what the hell that I'm talking about. I'm just, trading here live, showing you what works. I don't claim to be the best trader at all. I'm just showing you wins and losses for fun here. Entertainment purposes only. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that I just talked about that says I stand to make money from links and codes and everything in my content, or a lot of things in my content, like Top 1 Futures and that code and that link that I'm talking about. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you live for the as long as I'm here. I'm hanging out in the chart. I'll see you guys live. Hop in the Discord, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. You don't have to do anything, man. Free means free. Talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome day. Structure your risk. Trade well.